Boom! What's going on, everybody? 360 Digital Closing Mail, daily energy market summary here on this gorgeous Tuesday, October 6th, 2020. We are kind of live on YouTube from an undisclosed location here in Denver, Colorado. As always, I am your humble correspondent, Michael Tanner, joined by the executive producer of the show, the purveyor of the show, and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com, Stuart Turley. We're not quite live, but we're doing this in one take. Stu, how you doing today?
Doing great. Getting more off the printer here, hot off the press.
It's literally hot off the presses. It is a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We have a great show for you guys lined up today. We're coming to you a little later because guess what? We have jobs outside of this one. So sue us here. Time stands at about 3:37. We've got some great stuff on the news desk here. Hess is going to sell their stake in a Gulf of Mexico field for about $500 million. Really replenish some cash situation there. Hurricane Delta shutting in about 30% of all Gulf of Mexico production, really causing a fat rise in the price of oil. U.S. Treasury does some blocking on Citco stuff. President Trump tweets about the economy. Never good when we see some of those. Stu's got stuff in the international news desk. But first, guys, just subscribe. 360 Digital Closing Bell. iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, the best way to stay up to date on all of your energy finance stuff. Go to the 360 News Desk, www.oilandgas360.com. We look at the overall markets today. Stocks got hammered, Stu. We were on track for a plus day. We were about 200 points on the Dow Jones up. Then at about 12:48, Trump comes out and tweets that he's dropping all stimulus talks as he claims the Democrats are fighting in bad faith. Looks like there was a $2.4 trillion that was agreed upon by the Democrats. House in the Senate, which is the Republicans and President Trump, we're looking at a 1.6. Point is, we're hearing about this via Twitter since stocks, it's really living in the twilight zone. President Trump tweeting and the stock and the economy tanks. Holy smokes. Talk about the twilight zone. Dow ends up finishing down about 300 points, down to about 11,291. That's 1.8 percentages off. SPY and Dow Jones and NASDAQ don't finish any better, down 1.5 percentage points. Originally, crude oil only green stock on the day, really off the back of Hurricane Delta flying in. We'll talk about that. 38.83. About a 1.5% increase on the upside, 42.55 for 12 months, or about 1.3 percentage points. Natural gas continues to just be choppy. Up yesterday, down 3.5 percentage points today, $2.51. Back into the curve, $3.07. It's about 1.5 percentage points on the upside. XOP was our E&P securities contract, 2.5 percentage points on the downside, 42.46, 98.64 for our OIH, which are oil field services. That's down 1.9 percentage points. When we look at our equities on the upside, I mean, really, as we're seeing, indices were down today again, but industry, you got to kind of look at today's market pre-Trump tweets, post-Trump tweets. Pre-Trump tweets, equity markets were all green. Crude oil was green. Natural gas was still red, though. OIH and XOP still red, though. So that's kind of how I look at today. Now with stimulus blocks, obviously the regular economy is going to flip over, but E&P stocks did not have a good day anyway, even with oil prices rising. Now, a lot of this stuff is, again, off the back of Gulf of some of this shut-in coming off Hurricane Delta. But, I mean, we look at our downside, WT Offshore, all the top two companies are Gulf of Mexico companies down today. Why? Oh, production's down. Talos Energy and WTI Offshore both down about 8.5 percentage points. Canberra Energy, biggest loser on the day, or big loser yesterday, down 10.5 percentage points. On the upside, some good numbers. U.S. Energy Corp up 6.5 percentage points. Houston America Energy Corporation, go Texas, 6.5 percentage points on the upside, $1.63, and Tensico up to 87 cents, 6.8 percentage points. Stu, what's on the international news desk today?
Holy smokes. There is so much going out here. Let's see here.
Well, I got Chevron Nigeria is cutting 25% of its staff, is what I see.
Oh, yeah, that's this one right here. And looking at the graphics of the beautiful graphics here, the supply vessel they're cutting 25% of their folks. And I thought it was pretty interesting that the union was involved. All right, next. The new pipeline could heat up between the Azerbaijan and the Russian rivalry. I found a big nugget in this one, and that was analysts say Moscow has good relations with Armenia and Azerbaijan and has pragmatic relationships with Turkey and has overcome some past crises. Who doesn't have problems with Turkey? More on the news desk on that one. Then we also have the one here with U.S. Treasury extends Venezuela orderly block potential Chicago seizure through January. I'll tell you what, this is kind of nutty. You want to give me you take a look.
How U.S. regulators allowed Venezuela and PDVSA to buy a U.S. refinery is beyond me.
Now look at this. Here's the Venezuelan production. There's the high quality thing. 0.
300,000 barrels a day. But yeah, no. So to kind of give people a little update, this is kind of a hybrid U.S. international story. PDVSA, which is the national oil company over in Venezuela, they actually own 50% of Citgo, which is it's a refinery down there in Corpus Christi. Well, they missed interest payments beginning of July. I don't want to quote it, Stu. You've got the numbers in front of you, but it was missing interest payments in somewhere around July. And so the U.S. Treasury came in and is using it as an excuse to try to shift or try to split Citgo and PDVSA. There's some other considerations to come in, but I mean, more power to the fact that they were even allowed to have. I mean, I get we're a free market here, but we're doing business with communist PDVSA. Like, I'm good.
$1.2 billion judgment against Venezuela.
There you go, because that was their interest payment that's due. I think they owe creditors that much.
Oh my goodness.
It's something wild. Anything else? I know Equinor's also be talking about. Chevron's cutting 25% of their Nigerian staff.
Right.
Equinor's cutting 30% of their E&P staff.
And Equinor's out of Norway and more the union. And why are they asking for raises when
we
said that yesterday? Yeah. Oh, why are you guys asking for raises when they're cutting people? And
that's why you follow the show, because you hear these things early.
Right.
You got anything else on the news on the international side?
No, I'm panicking, trying to get everything done.
No, it's been really a long day. I mean, a couple of things we have are on the internationals or on the state side, excuse me. One, crude oil up today, off, as we know, currently trading time stands here about 345, 39.83. That's what 1.5 percentage points on the upside. And that's really off the back of Hurricane Delta, which has now been upgraded to a category 4 hurricane, shutting about 30% of all output. That's all oil output, and that's current as of today. To kind of give you an idea, 540,000 barrels of oil output and 233 MCF per day of natural gas output has been shut in. About 29% of oil and about 8.5% of all U.S. Mexico output. That's according to the U.S. Bureau of Safety and Environmental Enforcement, which gets their data from TGS. We love those guys. Check them all out for all of your offshore data. Another thing that is there's a lot more that's expected to become shut in, and that's part of the reason why you're seeing oil prices rise. They're expecting to see another 50%. Speaking of Equinor, they're still in the process of evaluating Cruise on its Titan platform. But these are some of the big fields, though. Thunder Horse and Atlantis, two of the biggest offshore fields, both for BP. They're shut down completely, as we know. As we covered on the show yesterday, there are 2 Lake Charles platforms, both ConocoPhillips, I believe, that are off from Hurricane Laura. Talk about going back 2-3 hurricanes from power issues. So not necessarily, but the refining capacity will be interesting to see how it plays out. Final story on the news desk: Hess sells its 28% working interest in its deep water Gulf of Mexico. What's the name of the Shenzai? In It's called the Shenzai field.
Yeah,
bless you, excuse me. And it's for about $505 million, and we put in the publisher's note. They have about $1 billion in debt coming in maturity in 2023. They had a cash drop of about $443 million in Q2. So I mean, this is really a deal to shore up their cash issues, making sure they can get all of their interest payments paid. We expect them to use their fresh cash to go ahead and pay down some of this debt that they've got maturing. But interesting to see what happens here. I think you're going to be seeing a lot of this, especially if it's working interest. I think if Hess, I think, is a company that is realizing, we have to choose whether we're onshore or offshore. We're not big enough to do both. And I think the best way to get cash right now is your most expensive assets are offshore. I mean, this is a good deal. This is cash money in the bank. This will look good on their Q3 earnings statement. Actually, it won't make their Q3 earnings statement. It's Q4. Shoot, we'll have to see this in January, but it'll be interesting to see how they do it. This should close around here then. Operator of that field is BHP. It's a 6 lease development. Repsol is the other. It owns the other 28%, with BHP now owning about 70%, or excuse me, 72% of this. Wow. Man, Stu, we miss anything today? I mean, it was a busy day for us. News desk was a little slow today. It's nice to see oil take off a little bit. I know it's off some hurricane, some shut-ins, but I mean, we'll take oil above $40.
Oh yeah. Any day
of the week. But I am tired of hearing my political economic news via Twitter. So that's my rant for the day. Can we get into a press release? Can we at least run it as a press release on Oil and Gas 360 first? Then we can tweet about it.
I'll call the White House here when we're done.
Yeah, get him right there. I've been on the side. Too many sides of Trump tweets. Trade. It just any trader would tell you, God, just give me the press release. I don't need the tweet. All right. But with that, guys, we're gonna go and let you get out of here. Get back to work. Thank you for checking out the 360 Digital Closing Bell here on the world's greatest website, oilandgas360.com. For Stuart Turley, I'm Michael Tanner. We'll see you tomorrow.